Hello everybody, National Master Chris Peterson here, bringing you another classical arena on LiChess. Looks like there's not a big group of people, but it tends to fill out right as it's starting, or at least in the early stages of the tournament anyway. As you may hear, I do have a new microphone, so hopefully the sound quality is a little bit better. I don't have music today just because I didn't really have time to set it up before the tournament started, so yeah, we'll be starting here in a minute. I tried to do a video yesterday, but I just wasn't playing very well and lost a couple of games that I should not have lost, and so yeah, I kind of gave up halfway through. So so I'm going to do a game today. I was actually thinking of a different type of video that I might try. Sometimes for practice I like to do blindfold chess, where I can't see any of the pieces, but my opponent can, and that's an option on LiChess. The way I do it in video format is where I would have two screens showing up on the video, one the empty board and one with the board, so you can cover it if you want to and try to follow along. There's no way for me to prove that I'm doing it blindfolded, but basically I wouldn't be able to see the one that is showing the position. And that's something you guys might be interested in. Let me know. It's a good exercise for me, so I thought I might share it with you guys as a way to kind of train yourself.
10,
I do it on a separate
9,
account.
8,
Looks like
7,
we're going to be starting
6,
here in just a moment.
5,
so here we
4,
go.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Alright, so my first opponent is in Alekhine, 1886. He is 1757 Blitz. Alright, so let's try... I haven't played a Nimzowitsch. Okay, we'll do a Bogo-Indian instead. Bishop b2, bishop d2, I usually go queen e7. I think this is kind of the main line. Okay, so a3, I think I have to take here. And I think the idea is to play d6 and then e5. Because now I don't have a dark square bishop, so I can put all my pawns on dark squares and use my light square bishop instead. Okay, so now I'll just castle. So I just ate, so my throat is a little full of junk. Okay. Just had to clear my throat a little bit. Okay, knight e4. So that's kind of a strange move. He's definitely looking to trade pieces off. I could take once. I could take on e4, and then he takes... I could also play bishop f5. I don't think he has any good tactics there. If knight takes knight, queen takes. If he goes bishop d3, maybe just bishop g4. No, that would hang h7. So I might have to take on d3 if that's the case. I don't really like that variation. I think I'd rather him take on f6. So I think I'm just going to play knight c6, try to entice d5. If he plays d5, he's putting all his pawns on light squares, and then he'll also give me the square c5, and I can secure it with a move like a5. I don't think I'm really in any danger if he comes to g5 with his knight. Yeah, my basic plan was just to go back, and now I should be able to use this c5 square. After a move like a5, maybe knight d7 to c5. Yeah, and my bishop's going to find something to do on the king side, I hope. Also here I can play knight takes and then f5. So if he goes bishop d3, he's actually going to lose a piece here. Oh, he actually did that. He loses a piece, right? Knight takes, bishop takes, f5, and then e4 is going to fork everything at the end. Yeah, so that's unfortunate for him. So bishop back and then e4. I don't see any good ways out of this for him. Just a fork. Alright, so he's going to keep playing. So here I could continue with f4, attacking the e-pawn, but he has plenty of time to like get castled and everything. I think I'm going to do it anyway, because it also gives me a natural square for my bishop. Okay, so I was not scared of this move at all, because now I have the e5 square for my knight. And that's a really juicy square for the knight. Yeah, okay, so he'll probably come back here. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, I think I have complete lockdown in the center. He's got a bad bishop. I'm up a piece. So now I'm just going to try to break open the queen side. Maybe finish developing first. Bring a rook over. He's kind of playing on for no reason. But, you know, it's his prerogative. I kind of treat it as them basically wanting to torture themselves. If he wants to torture himself, that's cool. I'm just going to keep trying to find the best moves here. So he's pushing this pawn, but it's not really going to do anything. I'm just going to play g6, and he hasn't really gained much doing that. I do have to be a little careful of checkmate ideas, but doesn't look like that's going to be a problem. Actually, if I wanted to, I could have just taken on c4 there. Yeah, maybe I'll do that anyway. just trying to create some open lines for my pieces. All right, let's. Do I care about hanging this pawn? I think I do. Maybe I'll just offer a bishop trade. It's not ideal to trade bishops here because his bishop is a bad bishop, but I'm up a piece, so all trades are good for me. To a certain extent, I don't want to trade all the pawns off, for example. But yeah, this bishop trade would help me out because then I can open up the rook file. All right, so let's play this. The idea is if he takes, my rook will crash in here, and if he doesn't take, I just have a bit more space. And I might have a queen check. Doesn't seem to do anything right now, but maybe in the future. All right, let's see. I need to come up with a decent plan here. I can't play this yet because my king would be exposed, so maybe we'll just start putting the rooks on the open file. It's always a good idea. I'll just double my rooks. He can't do anything to me for a really long time, so maybe I'll just play like rook here, and get this bishop out of the way, and then try to make something happen on the queen side. I expect he'll probably get frustrated and resign soon. Okay, so there, he wants to play rook here and like have me take, but I don't think he's doing anything. I could just pin it if I wanted to, but I think I'm just going to ignore him and double my rooks and say, you're not really doing anything. You're not doing what you think you're doing. It's just really hard for me to see any plans for him, and my play should be pretty straightforward. Okay. Alright, let's double the rooks first. There's no reason to to sacrifice the pawn yet. And now maybe just rook here and pawn here. And my position's getting really, really menacing. Oh, yeah, I can even do like rook here to here. And he'll be in a lot of trouble. Well, actually, I can even put the bishop here to put to dislodge that rook. But I kind of like the idea of bringing it in here because, well, he didn't want me to do that anyway. All right, so let's go here. If he takes, I'm just gonna bring my bishop in, and then I must be threatening something with like rook check here, rook check here, queen here is probably a checkmate. If here, then maybe. I have a knight check and queen check there. Looks like it might be checkmate. Not sure. Yeah. So, okay, so he took. I'm thinking. Oh, his bishop is covering this check, so I don't have anything immediate. But I have some pretty nasty stuff coming. But I don't have anything immediate, but it's coming pretty fast. Alright. I'll just play here, threaten my rook over. Yeah, like his plan to like bring the rook up here, it's not doing anything. Like everything's all locked up and the knight's doing a fantastic job keeping everything defended. And I have this really strong threat of rook c5, and I don't know how he gets out of it. Because if he goes king here, I could just do rook check and rook takes bishop. But also just rook here and then maybe rook here are also on the table. So we could be seeing a resignation here soon. But we'll see. What is he going to do? Okay, I don't think he saw rook c5. Do I have anything better? I have a knight check here. Knight check doesn't do much. I'm just gonna go here. Win is queen. Oh, actually I can do check and take with the knight. So I don't even have to damage my pawns. Yeah. Alright, let's not damage the pawns. And he's still kind of stuck with these pieces that aren't really doing anything. I could have thrown in that check, but I don't know if it did anything. Alright, so queen there. So queen takes pawn. I'm threatening checkmate with queen b2. I don't see a decent way out of that. Oh, okay, so he stopped it that way. Okay, here I have bishop check followed by the queen coming in. So bishop check, queen check. Let's see if we can calculate this to a checkmate. So queen check, or sorry, bishop check, king here, queen check, king here, queen check, king here, queen there. No, that's not. I can't do that. Queen here, check. King. This king is here. After check here. So he has to go here, then queen check here, and queen check here, and mate. I think it's checkmate. Not super confident. All right, queen d3. Sorry, bishop d3, king d2, or queen d1, or king d1. Okay, that check. I do this check. Yeah, and now it's kind of transposing. Yeah, this is definitely a checkmate. Yeah, so queen c3 and then queen takes b2 will be checkmate. Alright, there we go. I wasn't calculating that too well. I got kind of lazy there. But I knew there must have been some kind of checkmate there. I'm sure it was probably forced too. I don't want to look at it right now. So I think that game went pretty smoothly. He blundered in the opening, missing that knight fork, or the pawn fork. Yeah, I don't know. All right, Gabriel Palma. Let's try e4. e4, c5. Let's just do an open Sicilian. Don't get too many of those. Yeah, right. All right, takes, knight f6, knight c3, e6. So at the World Open, I tried g4 and I had no idea what I was doing, and some like 1800 FIDE player was kicking my butt out of the opening. Let's try. Let's try an English attack. I don't know this too well either, so I think the idea is f3 and then you play for g4. So I'm gonna play queen d2. I think g4 next move. g4. And maybe like h4, g5. Okay, so there. I wonder if I should castle now, or a3 is kind of a prudent move sometimes. But I think I'm just going to play h4. I think I'm going to castle, because I don't want him to get some like surprise check on h4, winning a pawn. Okay, so let's play h4 now. My knight can always come back to here. All right. Let's continue. And I think we want to continue with f4, just to take away the e5 square. If he plays e5, then maybe we can play knight f5. If he takes here first, that could be a problem for us. But I think maybe just queen takes. Okay, so bishop there. Okay, so he wants to take and then push, and then my c-pawn will be hanging. Let's just play. I like putting the bishop here. I think I'll play bishop g2, just to try to contest this long diagonal a little bit. Support the e-pawn. Okay, so that's a weird move. Usually they try to like occupy e5, so I don't know what he's trying to do with that. Just putting more pressure on the e-pawn, I suppose, but all right, let's I don't know a decent way to stop that other than to play a3, but that will kind of propel his pieces towards me. Maybe I can take and play a3. That's an option. I could also just play rook e1, one of the rooks to e1, and just kind of deal with it. Another option is a knight sacrifice here, but it doesn't look super promising. After takes, then maybe knight f5. Where does this knight go? It comes here, puts pressure here. It's probably not worth it. Sometimes an option of knight f5 first, and then after takes, then knight d5, hitting this guy, and then I can take here and maybe play for f6. That sometimes is an option. And again, it doesn't seem like it's quite there, and that's the problem. But maybe what I can do is maybe I can play h5, and then after he plays b4, then sacrifice the knight. But it just doesn't seem like there's enough. I mean, on the plus side, I am going to win the b pawn, but that's kind of a dangerous pawn to take. What to do, what to do. Could... I could play e5 myself. That's interesting. e5 takes. I end up just losing that pawn. Yeah, I'm a bit confused. I think I probably should have played bishop d3 instead of g2. But you know, it is what it is. So I think I have to take here, and then I think I'm gonna play queen d4 next. And the idea behind queen d4 is that I just want to defend the b4 square. And then, so I'm preventing b4, and I'm also defending the e4 square. So if he plays a move like e5, I think I can't take once. Maybe I just play queen b4 there. And my bishop can recapture. And then I have pressure on the knight here, so he can never try to gain a discovery. And if he tries to kick my queen, then maybe knight b5 is a possibility. But right now everything's just kind of loose, especially with his bishop defending pretty well. So I'm just trying to hold the fort for now. It's not a great solution, but it seems like it's going to work temporarily, at least. And that's the problem with trying to like play a whole bunch of openings to make it interesting, is that like I don't really know the openings too well, so I tend to kind of fumble around them like Mr. Magoo. Wonder if I can make the board a little bigger. It's probably fine. Okay, so he's trying to prevent me from playing queen b4, I guess. I guess that's what he's doing. I'll just continue with h5. Maybe I can play h6 and make something happen. Alright, so he's attacking my knight, so I have to move it. But yeah, my queen can sit on d4 for a while, which is good. Okay, so here, I think h6 first, because it threatens a checkmate, which is always good. So I have to be a little careful because he's got some like discovery chances on c3 on c2. As long as I'm mindful of him, I should be okay. I wonder if he can get away with playing b3. So b3, pawn takes b3, knight takes b3, c takes b3, bishop takes e4, check, then knight c3. Oh, well, he missed the checkmate. He fought for all that time and he missed the checkmate. I think he was probably doing pretty well there at the end. Yeah, so e5 was a good move there. Yeah, I just had to get my king out of there. That's probably my only major mistake in that position. Okay, so yeah, so I kind of snuck through with that game, but that Grandmaster Larry Christensen, multiple U.S. champion, always says threaten checkmate because they might miss it. Always threaten checkmate because they might miss it. So that was certainly the case there. Alright, so we are currently in 9th place. Actually tied for 3rd because a bunch of people are just barely ahead because they berserked a couple times. Alright, so let's try d4. And let's try a straight up Queen's Gambit. Okay, so we have a Slav defense. I think this is a Slav. Oh, now it's like a Stonewall setup. Stonewall Dutch. Seems pretty early to be playing that move. I think I'll just play bishop f4. Not the most aggressive way to handle this, but my pieces will find pretty good squares. Let's just go here, and then we'll play this. Okay, so let's... I don't want to lock it up because I want to keep it dynamic. So I'm just going to go bishop e2. Let's just castle. Now, I think I want to take here once. Okay, and I think I'm just going to retreat my knight and allow him to bring my knight to this f4 square, if he'll let me. Let me take here, and I'll play knight f4. He could kick me with g5, but that's pretty weakening if he does that. Alright, so let's... if I take that, it opens up the f-file. I think I need to play f3. It's not pretty, but I really don't want him to stay where he was. Okay, so now maybe I can play for e4. Alright, so let's back this up. So my plan right now is to play e4, but it's a pretty long way off at the moment. Alright, so let's just play b3, just to take away some squares. Alright, so let's go queen here to support the e4 push. Now, this knight is kind of... Let's see if I can bring the knight up here. Or maybe here is okay too. Alright. Can I play e4 yet? No. Alright, let's just go in here. I think I changed my plan. I'm going to occupy e5, and then I'm going to trade here. And now my bishop might find a decent home on this diagonal. So he's playing really trade happy. I think... Do I want to open up the f-file? I think I want to open the f-file. So... Oh, I was not expecting him to come in there. Alright, so let's just take this, and we're going to take over the f-file. Alright, let's play here. We're just going to double on the f-file, maybe triple on the f-file, because that's where the action is at the moment. Yeah, let's just triple. And I think I want to play rook in here, because that's going to threaten some really nasty stuff. And he can't take because of checkmate. So he might have to play rook here, but then that allows this rook check, and then maybe rook takes pawn. He's in a lot of trouble here. He should have tried to contest the file. Alright, so let's play... Oh. Does this check do much? I don't really like that check. What's the right way to go about this? I think I'm going to just play rook here and try to check him here. Because I really want his king back here. It'll make it easier. Alright, so let's check. And now let's go here. And now I'm thinking I have some really nasty shots. But I don't see anything super concrete yet. So maybe check and rook here, but he's gonna have... he'll only have like one or two checks, so that should be okay. And meanwhile, I'm threatening a checkmate. So, yeah, I'm thinking check and rook here, and he's pretty much done for. If he goes rook here, then just rook check and rook takes pawn. Okay. It's interesting. Where's the mate? There has to be a checkmate. Okay, so check, check, check. He's like sneaking out. Sneaking out of it. Check. Huh. I don't see a mate, so I'm just going to take the rook. Because I always had rook, queen check, and queen takes rook, so I couldn't find a checkmate. Let's just check really quick. I'm pretty sure there was one, but... Oh, okay. The mate was to just take the rook. Yeah, okay. Anyway. Let's see. Let's go back to the tournament. Alright, I'm tied for second now. We're behind Lose Him, who has berserked every game. I could try berserking a game, but I don't know. I just don't move very fast, especially when I'm trying to talk about the positions. I hope you guys don't mind. Let's see. Who am I going to play next? What was the opening for that? Oh yeah, it was like a... Started out as a Slav, and then he did this like weird Stonewall type thing. Alright, here we go. We're playing DKGWBY. What haven't I played? Let's try an Alekhine's Defense. I don't think I've tried that one. Alright, so usually after knight c3 you strike at d5, and it kind of transposes a little bit into a Scandinavian. So I think I'll take that. And I think bishop here. And we'll just keep developing. I'm going to castle queenside and play for an attack on the king side, because I love to attack. We'll play e5, take over the center. And I think I want to play h5. Maybe go for a fishing pole type attack. Although Brian Wall calls it a bishing pole if you're doing it with a bishop instead of a knight. But what the heck, we'll try it anyway. Alright, so should I play f5 here and continue the fishing pole? I think I do. Let's play f5. We'll keep it going. Keep it strong. So I'd like to play f4 if he'll let me. Maybe takes. I can't play f4 right away because he'll have a check, but okay. So he doesn't want that. I think I'm just gonna move my rook here. He's gonna give me this nice diagonal for my bishop, so there's no reason for me to offer a trade. Maybe I could have went rook d7 instead, but I want to keep as much stuff off this diagonal as possible, just in case a bishop ends up on it. So my next moves are like bishop c5. I'm not worried too much about his bishop on g5. So maybe like, yeah, bishop c5. Okay, so he's gone for the fishing pole. So I'm thinking bishop c5. Maybe I can even get a move like g3 in. Could be good. Alright, so he's on this pawn here. So I think maybe first I defend that guy. Oh, he can just take it. That didn't defend anything. Do I have queen here? Maybe I have queen here, winning a piece. I knew I had to be careful of tactics on this diagonal. Okay, so I'm gonna get off this diagonal first of all, just to be careful. And now maybe I can play like here. Oops. Rook h5, bishop c5, pawn f5. It's kind of a slow motion fishing pole because he's got a lot of pieces in the way right now, preventing my attack. But all of his, I mean, the bishop on g5 and the knight on h5 are definitely awkward pieces. So he'll have to deal with he has to deal with that first. So bishop c5. If he goes bishop d3, I think maybe I just play knight d4. Although I'd like to avoid trades if I can. Maybe I just go bishop d6 and play for f5 or f4. Then I can play like rook f8 and then f4. That's my main ideas. Okay, let's play rook here. So I'm kind of half threatening to take on g3. I expect he's going to stop that, but that might give me time to double up on the g file, on the h file. Saying all the squares wrong like usual. Yeah, so if bishop e3, I might be able to just play rook h8 because I'm threatening checkmate. And if he goes knight h4, I think I can just play f4. And if bishop takes c5, pawn takes g3. Then pawn takes g3, rook takes g3, check. It looks like he might be slithering out of that because his king can come up to f2 in that line. So, oh. Alright, let's threaten checkmate first of all. And now I can do this check. Now this check. Do I want to do this check? I don't think so. I think I want to just take here. But that looks like it might liquidate a bit too much. F4 looks really promising because I have this F3 check. So let's go F4. He doesn't have a tactic here because queen takes check and defends the rook. If he goes rook h1, I have f3 check. Something takes f3. Pawn takes f3. Yeah, followed by capturing on h1. So I win back the piece in that line. I could also throw in knight d4 maybe, but not if he goes rook h1 too quickly. Also, oh, actually, on rook h1, maybe rook 8 takes h4. Okay, this is interesting. Rook 4 takes h4. If rook takes rook, just rook takes, and I'm fine. If bishop takes, then pawn check. Yeah, and then if king g1, if king h1, if king f1, I just take on h1 with mate. And if he plays king g1, what do I have? Oh, then I have rook g3 check, followed by what? Oh no, the bishop is defending that. Huh. I don't see it. Okay, rook takes knight, bishop takes, f3 check, king g1, right? Rook takes, rook check, king takes, queen h6. No, he can trade there. Huh. Alright, other options. How about pawn check, knight takes, pawn takes, check, bishop takes. Followed by knight d4. That looks pretty good. Because my queen's defending the rook in that line. Alright, let's do this. We're going to do pawn check, pawn takes, and then knight d4. Depending what he does, of course. I feel like I had something there with rook takes h4, but I couldn't tell you exactly what. Alright, so let's go knight d4. And my queen can come in here, and I'm threatening the bishop. If the bishop retreats this way, then I have a check here. If the bishop comes here, then I have this check, which is really powerful. I think he's in a lot of trouble. If he takes here, then queen takes. And I've also got my pawn back, so material is pretty much back to even. And I think I'm just much better now. So I think I'm going to win this game in a few more moves here. He's in big trouble. So if bishop back to here, I can just take the rook. If bishop here, I can go queen d5 check, pawn up, and then knight takes. And if rook takes here, I take here with check. Actually, I have to be careful there because he can block with the bishop, and he's hitting both my queen and my rook. But I think I can just go queen g8 in that line. And then it would be... Well, he'd have a piece and a rook and a piece versus a queen, which should be winning for me, but it's not ideal. So I think, I feel like bishop e2 is the right move here for him, but it's a tough move to play. So instead, he's going to go for this line, which I think just is checkmate. So let's just take a look at the analysis board there. I'm curious if I had something with yeah, okay, so f4, rook here. Oh, I just had this queen check immediately. Was a forced checkmate. But I'm wondering what happens here. Oh, he takes, and as long as I have this check, I'm just winning. But yeah, because the checkmate here, because the bishop's covering that. All right, so let's go back to the tournament. I just couldn't quite calculate it out. Yeah, I just couldn't calculate it, which is pretty sad. But it is just a 10-minute game, so cut me some slack. Although I wasn't even considering queen d5 check until later, so yeah, that's my problem. All right, so we're actually first place now, although probably not for long, since Thirsty Monster is right on my heels. I think I'm winning on tiebreaks just because I've played the least number of games and or have the best winning percentage. So I'd like to get a game here. Let's see. Oh, now Luzim has jumped ahead of me because he berserks every game. All right, now we're playing against Luzim. So this is pretty much for everything. So let's start with d4. He's not going to berserk. Let's try a London system. Why not? I don't think I've done that one yet. I have a lot of experience playing this. Hopefully it turns out to be worth it. Okay. Bishop g4 is a little weird. I'll just let him give me the 2 bishops if he wants to. If not, I'll gain a tempo with knight e5 eventually. In fact, let's go ahead and do that now. Actually, he might be in some trouble already because I'm going to have g4, h4, and he'll have to double his pawns. I think he might be able to just play knight f6, but then I think I can take on g4 and play e4 as an option for sure. Just gaining a bunch of space in the center. But I don't like that because it would be kind of a French position without the light square bishops. Okay, so bishop h5. Let's go g4. And so he has to go here, and then I'll play h4. Okay. Was not expecting that. Alright, so that's gonna fix his little problem, I guess, but in the meantime, yeah, that wasn't bad. I didn't see g5. Wonder if there's a way to exploit that somehow. Better than just making that lame move. Alright, so I'm just going to develop normally. Just play h4. And we'll see where this goes. I think I want to take that now. And now bishop here. Just putting some pressure on the pawn. If he plays f5, my bishop finds a nice home on e5. So let's just develop. I'm just going to go queen e2, castle queenside, and try to break through all this massive pawns. I could play f4 or h4 also to break through. Alright, so let's go queen e2. He's still a bit of a long ways away from castling, so we have time. Let's castle queenside. I'm kind of castling into a natural pawn wave for him, but his pieces are definitely not in a position to support an attack on the queen side, so I don't think there's much danger there for me. Alright, let's start with f4, and then maybe we can play e4, or we can take here and put pressure down the e file. Pawn here, I think we just take here and play h4 to support the pawn. If he takes, I think I want to play pawn takes. Yeah. So now I'm hitting the e6 square, and that's pretty difficult for him to defend. He might go for a counter shot with f5, hitting the d pawn. But I think I can just take and then just like put massive pressure down the e file, and it's going to get rough for him very fast. Probably his best move here is f5, but maybe he can play king e7 or king f7. It's probably not a terrible idea. Followed by f5. Not sure. Actually, another good option for me might be to play f5 myself. Like, don't even worry about winning the e pawn, just play f5. But if he lets me take the e-pawn, I should just take it. But also, if he lets me, I'll just play f5 myself. Okay, so e5. So takes. So I win a pawn here if I just take it. 3 attackers. Takes. Yeah, I think I'll just take it. And I want to take this way just so my bishop gets more open. If I take this way, maybe he could lock me down with this. Alright, so let's take here. We've won a pawn. But a pawn doesn't mean much yet. Alright, he wants my bishop. I don't have a good way to save it. So I just gotta keep moving forward. Let's play h4. Maybe I can just get some pressure going. Maybe try to get a pass pawn on this side. Then I'll have a pass pawn on the e file and the h file. All right. He wants to castle. Isn't too much I can do about it. Can I take here? That's a bit crazy. Takes with check. That's a problem. If he wasn't taken with check, it might be possible. I have a new idea. What about pawn here? Queen takes, knight takes, rook here. Man, my arrows are terrible. And trying to double here. Maybe bring a bishop in. And then I'm also hitting this guy. Yeah, let's do that. That is pretty good. Alright, so the one downside to this is he can play king up. But I think we have that pretty well covered. Alright, so let's play... Can I take here now? Then check and rook check. Oh, he has knight takes. That's always a problem. Alright, let's just double on the file, I guess. Does he have knight here? Not playing this very accurately, but I think my position's still pretty good. Material's equal, but I have the 2 bishops. So, alright, let's just continue with the plan of creating a passed h-pawn. I feel like if I'm going to win now, I need to do it with that h-pawn. I screwed it up. Probably got a bit too aggressive with my e6 move. It felt right, but you know, sometimes the intuition just gets a bit haywire. So if I take here now, he might be able to impose this check. No? Do I want to give up the bishop? Do I want to give up the bishop? Oh, this is defended anyway. That doesn't work at all. Alright. New plan. Let's just make a pass pawn like I was planning the whole time. You can come in here with the rook, but I don't know. Maybe I can just reroute the bishop to d2. Okay, there. If I go rook here, he can take and he wins something. He'll win an exchange. So I'll go here, and I'll just retreat my bishop back to this square. So I'll take that. So I expect rook takes, but we'll see. He's already surprised me once. Yep, okay, so I think rook here is good, because now we have a pin down this file. And I don't think we're really threatening to take this, even if he moves his rook, because he's just going to pin us back. Actually, it's with check, so I guess it's kind of working. Alright. I think we just want to maintain this pin. Now we can start thinking about pushing this guy forward. Because now he's in this pin that's kind of difficult to get out of. He'll have to play like king here or something. Maybe king here is better. This knight needs to get in the game somehow. Alright, let's just go here. He doesn't have to trade, but it's probably in his best interest to trade. Then I might be left with a rook pawn, which are generally really good against knights, but the problem is that it's really far advanced, so it's difficult for me to push it forward more. And his king and knight would be so close to it. Okay. I think I'll just take here. Oh, we're going to a king and pawn ending? Actually, I don't have to go to a king and pawn ending. Oh, actually I do. I want to go to a king and pawn ending. Alright, actually, am I going to a king and pawn ending? Or am I... Alright, let's go king here. And I think I'll just pin this. Yeah, I don't want to take and drag his king closer. Alright. Alright. Now I have an outside pass pawn, which would be good for me. I think he should have played rook here and gone for the king and pawn ending. This pawn is really, I don't know. This pawn distracts his king pretty far, but he's going to be making a pass pawn over here. So it's not super clear. So he should probably play here. Alright, now I think king here. And king g4. I'm trying to free up my rook so I don't have to defend with the rook. So this is probably kind of drawish. It's not going to be easy. Let's just play pawn here. I don't really know what to do. King and pawn ending. I don't know. I think I'm going to win this pawn, but I don't think I'm winning. It's probably more likely a draw. But my king's pretty far advanced. I might be able to like sneak it around here and take those guys. So I have to take there once, and then so I'm going to win this pawn. And I don't know if I can get around and take those guys fast enough. Alright, let's see if we can calculate this out. 1, 2, 3. Then he can push up here. 4. He can keep pushing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's like taking my pawns at the same time. I just don't see it happening. So the one way I can see it happening is if I can get my pawn to b6. If I get a pawn to b6, then my king gets to c7, and that should be a win for me. So I think I want to play b4. I think I want to play b4, a4, and I want to get a pawn here. And then go king here, king here, king here. And I should win. Okay, so he's sneaking around, but my pawns are going pretty quick. And now I have the opposition. So let's go here. Here. Oh, dang it. Maybe it's still okay. Let's go here. And here. Yeah, the problem is he's just in time. Yeah, I meant to box his king out, but I forgot what I was doing. Yeah, this is just a draw, unfortunately. Screwed that up too much. Because if I go here now, he takes, and then plays king here. If I could lose a tempo, that would be perfect, but I don't see how that can happen. I really screwed that up. Yeah, actually, if I do this, I might lose, because his king will take my pawn. Alright. Yeah, it's just a draw, unfortunately. Yeah, if I go back to the analysis board, maybe it was a draw the whole time, but I'm thinking if I play here, like if he keeps trying to do this, I don't know, maybe I just can't win. I think maybe I was just kidding myself. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where I screwed up there. Maybe e6 was just too ambitious of a move. Maybe if I just didn't want him to castle, that was the problem. He was castling so fast. Alright, so now we're playing Ray L 2016 from the US. He's 2183 Blitz, 2016 Classical, so hasn't quite caught up with him yet. Let's see what he's going to play. Oh, it looks like I've played him a couple times already. Okay, so knight f3. Let's play c5. Maybe it'll go Sicilian. e4, e4, e4. They never play e4. Alright. So it looks like it's going to be a symmetrical 4 knights English. I'm going to deviate with g6. I expect he'll follow suit, yeah. I'll just castle, I guess. I really don't want it to be symmetrical. It's kind of annoying. I'll try a6 just to keep some pieces out. d5 is a consideration. I could also play e5 and look to bring the knight into d4. Let's play e5. I haven't tried that idea yet. Give it a shot. Yeah, okay. He'll give me the 2 bishops, probably. There we go. And now I think I can just develop fairly naturally. Let's go here. And we'll just go bishop here. Let's bring the knight in. Okay, so here I'm thinking, do I take that? That allows him to get this d4 move in a little bit faster, because I have to spend a tempo with rook b8, and then well, he can play d4, but it's a temporary pawn sacrifice, especially since the c pawn is hanging. Knight here is an option, just to keep pieces on the board. If he pushes here, I'll just come right back, and if he tries this, I always have knight here. Yeah, alright, I'll go knight f5. Just to keep it a little complicated. I think I want to play rook b8 soon. Alright, so here, I was thinking pawn here. He could sacrifice, or he has a discovery, but I don't think it really does much. So I'll just play b6, and then I can challenge the b file with rook b8 later. Any types of discoveries are not really that strong. Okay, he came in with his rook, but is that a big deal? How about just queen here? I'm not really sure what it does, but it's kind of putting some pressure here. Maybe I have some ideas like here, and he'll be in a pin. But I have to dislodge this knight somehow. Little pie in the sky. We'll see how it pans out. I think I can kick his rook out of there with bishop c8 at any time. Okay, so he went knight e4. Could play queen here. I could just trade queens. Let's just trade queens. And maybe play a pawn here, just to keep him from kicking my knight out of there. Because I have to keep hold of the d pawn. So I'm thinking maybe rook c8 and then d5. If he attacks my bishop, I can just go back to c8. And then take over the b file for myself. So I expect something like rook here, yeah. Okay, so let's just defend the c pawn. He's gonna attack that pawn. Let's defend the c pawn this way. Okay. Can I play d5? Looks okay, because I can recapture with the pawn. Oh, that was terrible. What was I thinking? All right, let's go here, because we're gaining a tempo on his rook. Okay, he didn't see that. And now, I think I want to take here. And we'll take this. And now I think it's important to go rook a7, if he'll let me, or I can just challenge the b file. Yeah, I think just rook b8, rook a b8 after bishop takes e4. If he goes knight takes e4, then I think maybe rook a7, because otherwise he'll take the c pawn as well as the e pawn, and I don't want that. So if bishop e4, then rook a b8. If knight takes e4, rook a7. Okay, so let's go rook b8, and let's just advance the pass pawn. Okay, so he wins the pawn, but that's not a big deal. If bishop takes, okay, I'll just take here. Maybe this. Man, I'm just dropping all these pawns. Not playing great. Well, I get the a pawn here, so that's good. Oh no, I don't. Yeah, I do. Okay, I thought it was gonna be check. That would have been terrible. Okay, so now, in these types of positions, he's probably holding with best play, but I can be a real pain in his butt, because now I can come in here, I can harass all the pawns, and I just have a rook which is superior to the bishop slightly, so it's going to take a long time to prove it, and there might not even be a proof, but we'll torture him, see what we can do. Alright, let's go here. Might be an idea that with the knight coming in here. Alright, let's just bring the king in. Just trying to be a little careful of like knight forks and stuff like that. Maybe I could win this pawn, but it doesn't seem like it'll give me too much. Also, knight here to here is an option. Alright. Let's just gain a tempo, I guess. Couple tempo. King here. I'm not really doing anything, but neither is he, so. Alright, let's just do this check. Maybe I'll bring the knight here and check here again. I don't really know what I'm doing. He's got a pretty good fortress going. Alright, let's check. Maybe here. Alright, so I can check here and take the bishop, but I don't know if that does much. Maybe I'll just start bringing my king closer. I have to be careful because he'll have this type of stuff. That's kind of a long way off. Alright, so he wants to win that pawn. I don't know. Maybe I'll come this way instead. So I'm just trying to like get at this pawn. Alright, let's just take this. And we'll attack the bishop here. And then defend our pawn. And we'll take and king here. Alright, so I think I have to take there. And now I can cut him off here, but that's not... I'm not sure what that's doing. So it's a forced draw now if he knows how to defend it, but might not be so easy for him to defend. At the even without this pawn, it's a forced draw, but I'm gonna try to play it on. All right. Let's keep these on. Let's do this. And we'll give him a check. Attack the bishop. It's very difficult for me to do anything. Especially since his bishop has so many squares to go to. Let's try king here. Doesn't do anything. Let's see if he'll advance the pawn a little bit. If he advances the pawn, it helps me. Because if I can win that pawn, then he doesn't have any shelter for his king. So then I can force him to the edge. But even that is drawn, so. Alright. We're making a little progress. Kind of. I mean, it's not like super progress. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's go here. Here. Still not really making too much progress there, because he's always going to have the d3 square for his king, or the f3 square if I check him. All right, here. Here again. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of torturing him. Huh. Can't make progress. Let's try this. Now we might be doing something. I don't know what. I gotta be careful not to just hang my rook. That would be pretty bad. Probably approaching like a 50 move rule or something. Alright, there's a threefold repetition. Alright, so 2 draws in a row. Not the greatest showing. I don't know what exactly I did wrong there. I gave him too many pawns once we reached the ending. There was no reason for that. Yeah, I just didn't even realize that all my pawns were hanging. Probably tired from like doing baseball practice and whatever. And I played a whole bunch of games earlier today, so. Alright, I was doing well in Blitz earlier, but I'm not doing too great in the Classical. but you know, it is what it is. I haven't lost any games, so that's good. Should not have drawn those two, though. I'm pretty sure I was just winning both of them. Sometimes it's frustrating when they don't resign and you just kind of get lazy. So it's on me, but it's still kind of annoying. Alright, let's try a Smith-Morra Gambit. It's not something I do very often. I don't think it's a particularly sound opening, but we'll give it a shot anyway. I think we'll just develop. Play bishop here. And we'll castle. Play here. Yeah, I don't really know these lines too well. I guess I had a tactic there with bishop takes pawn check, but I didn't see it. Alright, let's try knight here, just to put some pressure. And now I can play f4, or alternately, queen here, queen here. Queen here, he plays g6, then queen here, and then queen f6. Not great. Does knight takes pawn do anything? No. Does knight takes here do anything? Not yet. Oh, whoops! I just bumped my microphone. All right, let's just play f4, and we'll play for f5. All right, now does this do anything now? Because now I can play queen here with check and a pawn here. No. Alright, what about here and then here? That might be pretty good. Let's try that. We'll just do it for fun. Everything's for fun, right? So knight f6 is probably an okay move for him. Probably the best move. And what do we do? I'm thinking pawn takes pawn anyway. And then queen check. Queen here. Or bishop takes check. Maybe just knight here. We have some like mounting pressure, but it doesn't mean anything yet. I'm trying to work out what it's going to mean, if anything. Hopefully it'll mean something. Otherwise, why the heck did I do it? If bishop takes, then bishop takes check wins the knight on c6. A lot of times it's really good if you can make moves that prevent him from trading and also bring your pieces forward. So that it's good that I had this knight d5 move. I'm kind of threatening knight takes f6 and queen h5 check, but I don't know what it does. Don't know what it does. Maybe followed up by queen g6, because then I'll have a something takes on f6, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, sometimes my attacks don't start out as anything. I just kind of do them by intuition. But that's kind of what happened with that e6 move. It felt like the right move, but a more prudent move was probably necessary there. But yeah, I'm pretty confident with the way this position is turning out, I think. So I could play knight here. I could also play queen check. I think I want to do knight takes knight here. If bishop takes here, I think just pawn takes and followed up by like a queen check. Alright, there. I think I want to play queen check here. So he has to go king e7. And now I think I take here. Alright, now I think maybe queen f5 check. And oh, I didn't see that. I thought he had to go here and then I take here. Okay, so I miscalculated that one again. Okay, queen check followed by a rook lift. Does that do much? I could queen check here. Does kind of a similar thing. Maybe. Alright, let's start with queen check here. And then I could either rook lift or I could gain a tempo on his knight first. I guess he doesn't have to move the knight. Well, I do have a threat because I have bishop takes knight and queen takes rook. So he has to do something about that. And maybe at the very least I have a bunch of pressure on the f6 pawn. I guess I can't do that because of this. But I have bishop takes check and queen takes rook. So let's do that. I think I'm still down something there though. Oh, okay. Alright, let's continue with the rook lift. This takes away the fork. I don't really know what was happening there. Here, queen takes check, or bishop takes check, queen takes rook, knight takes f1, rook takes f1, and it's just like a weird kind of equality. Alright, so let's play queen here. No, wait, I think I want to check first. Alright, and now I think maybe just rook now. Let's. Oh no, I can't. Well, he has check, but I can just go king h1. Well, queen h5, he can just trade rooks, and I don't really have anything. So let's just go rook h3. He has rook takes g2, but I can just go king g. Oh no, I can take it. I forgot the rook's defending e3. So that works out barely. Okay. Let's just pile up some more pressure. So he's threatening mate. Always threaten mate. They might miss it. Does this do anything? No. So rook g3 is probably forced here. Alright, this looks pretty strong. Yeah, I think he's in a lot of trouble now. Because I'm threatening really nasty stuff like rook g6 followed by bishop takes check. Oh, okay, so rook g6 check. I think he has to block with the knight, and then bishop takes check, queen takes is going to be checkmate. So let's just do this. If he blocks with the queen, I can just play bishop takes, check. Actually, I'm also hitting this here as well. Yeah, I think he just totally miscalculated this queen h7 idea. I don't think he saw rook f6. Oh. Maybe I didn't see that? Oh no. No, I had this. I had that figured out. Yeah, I have a mate coming soon. I was like, he made a move and I didn't even see what it was. And then I was like, oh yeah, he took the bishop on c3. Yeah, I don't think he had a good response to rook f6. Let's see. So my attack is pretty sound because it didn't have anything super, like, it's just equal, so that means it's pretty sound. I'm not losing. Yeah, queen check, rook up. Yeah, I kind of screwed up with this idea. Yeah, okay, so yeah, then rook f6 was pretty crushing. Oh, and I had a checkmate in one. Oh, whoops. I did a slower checkmate. Dang, it's always nice to get a checkmate with a double check. Oh well, it would have been much better. What? Someone? Oh, cheating, huh? What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, that's that one song. War, what is it good for? I think I'll probably be able to get 1 or 2 more games, maybe 2 more games in this video. Hopefully I can actually make up for the games I drew. That last game was pretty nice because it was a pretty good attack, even though he had a defense later on. Yeah, that was kind of a fun game. A lot of cool ideas in there. Should have played the checkmate in one. That would have been a cool way to end it. Okay, Heartless MF, 1996, 1733 Blitz, and he's berserking me. How clever. Alright, let's try... What haven't I done? Let's just play the Caro-Kann again. Why not? I've probably done it too much already. Bishop d3, I haven't seen that. I think it just loses some tempos. Can't be good. Bishop f4. E6 and bishop g6. Oh, I was expecting him to go knight here. Alright, I'll just develop. And develop some more. And castles. Maybe play here. Put some pressure here. Maybe play c5. Although I have to be... his bishop's on such a weird square that I have to be careful of this diagonal. I say that and I'll probably forget all about it. So I expect b3 here. Probably the best move. You could try d5, but I'm just going to take it a million times. c5 is probably no good because it just abandons the d5 square. So I'll just occupy that. Not sure what's so difficult about b3. Why he's taking so long. What is he thinking about? He berserked. He can't spend all his time. I'm just going to play something safe and bring the bishop back. Okay, there. I was thinking maybe queen c7 and looking to play e5. So queen c7, rook d8, and then maybe e5. Alright, so he's kind of stopping that idea. Oh, I could play e5 now, though. Let's play e5 now. And then I could take and play queen e6. Not the greatest square for the queen, but... Alright, let's take once. Actually, I could play queen a5. It's a bit of a better square. Just because then it's out of the way of the rooks, and he's not going to be hitting my rooks. Oh, actually, I have to be careful because he'll have a shot. He'll have a knight d5 shot there. So queen a5, knight d5, and he'll take my bishop on e7 with check as an in-between move against my queen. Alright. So I guess queen e6. A knight here. It's not a problem. Alright, and now let's attack his queen. And now I have to find a decent square for my queen. Maybe now I go to a5. Although he'll have pressure here. My queen's low on squares. Where do I go? Where do I go? Bishop here. Queen here. If he discovers, I can take his bishop. Although he could play g4 first. Queen a5. Then that would give my bishop time to move. Alright, let's go queen f5. And I'd like to just swing it over here if I can. Yeah. Alright, so let's start with... yeah, let's start with this. And I think I have to... Maybe I'll just go all the way back. Yeah, now my queen can't really come over here. It'll get smushed. Although I have a knight takes pawn. And that move doesn't really do much. Oh, I'm yawning. Maybe we offer a queen trade. Takes. He doesn't have time to take here because I'm on his queen. And I think maybe rook here is my follow-up. Ah, okay. That's pretty clever. He stopped that idea. But he's giving me this pawn, so I think I'll take it. And then I can just pin his knight here. I don't understand that move. Just gives up an exchange. I could go here with my king. Seems pretty safe. And I'm on this knight. I think... Do I take or let him take? I think I'll... Well, if I play there, he can come here. Let's take and just bring this bishop back. Just so it's not so far away. And now it's also putting a little tickle on that knight on e7. So I'm up in exchange here, but he's not resigning. So this time I'm going to try not to hang all my pawns. So I can actually win this endgame. I'm up in exchange and the pawn already, so it's looking pretty good. So there, I just win a piece, right? I can just take this. Okay, he traded a piece for a pawn. That doesn't make any sense. Bit of a miscalculation on his part, I suppose. Uh-oh. Now my buddy Gunnar is watching me. Gunnar is the... what is he? He's the Blitz and Quick champion of Colorado. He won the Colorado Close as well. I think I mentioned him in a previous video. Alright. Let's just defend that guy. Let's just lock out his rook a little bit. Let's just do this check. I don't think it really does much, but maybe we can make something happen with doubling the rooks. Alright, let's threaten to exchange some pieces here. Alright, and now it's taking away that check as well. And now maybe I can just bring my rooks in like this. Alright, there we go. Alright, back to tournament. Okay, so I'm pretty far down in the tournament because of those 2 draws. But I think if I win my next couple games, I'll jump up quite a bit. Well, there's not enough time. I'll probably only get 1 more game in before the pairings close. Alright, let's play. What haven't I done? I think I've done just about everything there is. I'll just play e4, I guess. Okay, so he's going to play something a bit offbeat. So he's offering a bishop trade, but I'm not going to take it. Generally, it's a bad idea to trade when you want to win. So he's doing like a hippopotamus type thing. That's a little annoying because it's a pretty solid way to play, and it's not super easy to break down. But I've already got a pawn advanced over there, so that's starting to look good already. Let's just go queen e2. And do I start breaking this down? I think so. Because now my pieces are kind of penetrating. Alright. How is he defending h7? Maybe he's not defending it. Maybe he just plays the rook over. Oh. Alright, so a couple of quick games like that, and maybe I'll get right back into being one of the top contenders. Although I have to win at least 2 games to even make it to the top 3. So unfortunately, this tournament's probably a bust. But yeah. Alekhine, that's who I just played. Okay. See what I mean? Always threaten checkmate. They might miss it. It's a little facetious though, because you don't want to threaten checkmate when they're threatening a checkmate on you. So you can't always threaten a checkmate. But it's usually a pretty good idea, especially in faster time controls like these. So maybe 1 more game, and then tournament's over, and then the video's over. Here we go. Black against Ben. Yeah, I'm just going to call him Ben. Ben check. Alright, let's try. Oh, okay. Alright. I don't really know this one. Let's just play d5. Seems natural. Maybe g6. And bring the knight around to f5. I wonder what the name of this is, this G4 idea. I've never seen it before. I just want to develop. So it's a bit awkward putting that knight on c6, but I just want to get my pieces out. The more pieces I have out, the less likely he's going to be able to do something nasty to me. Alright, so let's take this guy. And if he pushes, I can just take on e5. And if he just kind of does nothing, then just bishop g7 and maybe castles. Can't solidify everything with bishop e6, so. Alright. So he's giving me the 2 bishops, and he's giving me a pawn. Well, 2 pawns now. But my pawn structure is not super healthy, so So I have to be careful. Be very careful. But I feel like if I get castled, I'll be doing well. I'm just gonna play h5 to take away counterplay. I don't want him to have any kind of any kind of h5 prying open the h-file kind of thing if I'm gonna castle kingside. And now I might be able to play bishop e6 and bishop d5. That looks pretty good right now, as a matter of fact. Alright, so now here, hitting the rook. And I should be able to castle in the next move or so. Pawn here might be a little annoying. Not sure. Alright, let's just bring the knight back, and we'll bring it to this nice f5 square. Can you play e6? That's my question. I think I just take and castle and say, you've given me a bunch of pawns and I'm not sure what's happening, but yeah. Alright, so let's castle now. Now if he plays e6, I think maybe just f5. Or maybe just f6 is probably fine. Alright, let's go here. I'll probably end up figuring out the name of this opening a little later. Well, at the end of my, when I upload the videos, I look up the games and everything and put them down in the description. So if you're ever wondering like which opening was played, or you want to link to the actual game to do analysis or whatever, all that information is in the description down below. Okay, so he's got me in a bit of a bind, but I can win a pawn now with takes and knight here. Probably not too bad. Although he can play pawn takes and takes. Oh, but then I win this pawn as well. I think I'll do this. I'm getting a lot of pawns. If queen takes, then I get the b pawn. So. Yeah, so now I think rook takes here. And my position's really strong. My king is really safe. I'm just going to play like king d5. If he takes on c6, I have knight takes d4. Okay, queen d5 now. And I'm starting to consolidate, so I'll be able to bring this other rook over, or support my c-pawn if he trades queens. I wasn't expecting him to trade queens, but you never know. Alright, so he pretty much has 0 threats. I don't really want to do that because I like to keep control over this square if I can. So I'll just go here. He could play e6. e6. I think I can just play f6 and queen takes pawn. Alright, so my whole idea now is that I have this passed c-pawn, so I might as well push it. And we'll just keep pushing. And then rook b1 is coming. Should be fairly strong. If he comes queen back here, I have bishop takes e5, winning another pawn. And then if he trades here, I can then take on d4. All right. Do I play rook here? That's the question. I think I do, because he can't play rook here, because I'll just take it. And if he goes rook here, then I could trade rooks and... Oh, what does that move? What if I just take here and play rook here? Yeah, this fork I can just take his rook because he'll have no way to stop me from queening. He can't stop me because my knight takes away his bishop. And then I'm going to queen, and I'm just going to be up a rook and a piece at the end of it all. So might see a resignation here, but maybe not. What's the guy's rating? 2083, 1935 blitz. Okay. So that was a pretty smooth victory, I think. Not sure what that opening was. Kind of curious to look it up. Actually, winning this game will propel me ahead of him in the standings. If you look over here, I'll jump ahead of him. Actually, I might end up in 4th place, which isn't too bad. Okay, he's trying for some counterplay, but I think I'm just going to queen. Okay, he trades, king takes. I'll just take this pawn. And this check. What's the fastest mate here? Oh, this is pretty fast. There we go. So that'll win that game. And looks. So the pairings are still going. So I might get one more game. I doubt I can finish it in time though, unless like the player doesn't move or something. So I don't think I'll be able to leapfrog over Vince. I'll just call him Vince. And there's no way I can catch up to Reinecke or Memel. I don't think I played either. Oh, did I play Memel in the tournament? I've played him in the past, but I didn't play him in this tournament. Did I play any of the top guys? I did not, as far as I can tell. So, yeah, not much I can do if I don't play the top guys, but... okay, so here we go. We'll play Lalo Manu, 1195. Alright, knight f6. Maybe I should have berserked, because he's only 1195, but... I think it's a little, I don't know, almost kind of like an insult to berserk somebody. So I try not to do it. I used to do it where if they berserked me, I would berserk them back just to kind of make it fair, but I figure, you know, if they want to give themselves a disadvantage, why should I bother? I think I'll just play knight takes. There, I was thinking knight b4. So I'm attacking his queen, and I might have some ideas like knight here check. It'd be nice if I could win this fast enough so that I can leapfrog over Vince, but actually Vince won his game, so now I'm 5 behind. So there's no way I can. All right. So here I was thinking I could play b5, but that might be a little ambitious. Does bishop here do anything? Not really. Because I'd like to do this check if I can. So b5, he can play queen here. Then I was thinking maybe queen d6. I don't know. Let's do it. You only live once, right? Oh, he's just gonna give me his queen. Okay. Well, 1195. Can't expect miracles. And he's not gonna resign either. Okay. Well, I have knight c2 coming. Okay, he's just giving me all the pieces. Hey, he resigned just before the end of the tournament. So now I'm just one behind Vince. So, but I think the pairings close when there's only 2 minutes left. So the tournament's just about to be over as far as getting new pairings go. But if I can get a game, and if I can win in less than 2 minutes, then maybe I can catch up. But it is, you know, game in 10, so 20-minute games. So I'd have to play pretty risky. Oh, and I'm playing Vince, so this probably won't be very quick. All right, let's play e4. E4 is pretty aggressive. All right. Ooh, okay, so we haven't tried this recently. Okay, so this is called like the Portuguese or something. Portuguese defense. I don't remember exactly what it's called. Just castle. I always have trouble with this because they always put the bishop here. Maybe I should have defended against that. Alright, I'm just gonna play c3. Now I don't want to trade queens, so I'll do this. Now h3. And now I guess here. Maybe I should have brought the knight around before I played h3. This doesn't look too bad. Alright, just keep going. This is kind of like the typical maneuver. You can bring the knights to g3 or e3. Usually I go to g3 just to keep out of the way of the bishop, but e3 is pretty flexible too because it's eyeballing the square. But at the same time, at this point, I have to keep control over e4. Alright, I'm not entirely sure what he's trying to do here. Let's just take here. Or, yeah, just play here. If he plays g4, I think I can play knight takes here and then queen takes after he takes on f3. Okay, there. Yeah, let's just play here, I guess. If g4, I was thinking of playing knight h4, just so I can start occupying these squares, and my bishop is coming into h6 maybe. He could take on e4 now, but I don't know how strong that is for him because I might have the strong sacrifice knight takes g5. Okay. Let's see. Let's take once. And now, I thought maybe knight g5, but I'm not really seeing it. Bishop g5, bishop f3, queen f3, bishop g5. Not seeing it there either. Alright, let's start with knight h2. He's won a pawn, but I don't think it was that stellar of a pawn for him to take. So now I'm threatening bishop takes g5. So he'll probably have to retreat his bishop. Alright, so now I was thinking about knight g4, but I think maybe pawn h4 is better. So if he takes, I can take on h6. And if he pushes, I can take that. And if he doesn't take, and if he just kind of sits there, then maybe I play knight here. Alright. Alright, let's play h5. I'm not 100% confident with what I'm doing, but just trying to put a little pressure. He'll probably play bishop f5. No? Okay. Alright, so my position's not too terrible anymore. He's trying to play f5 himself, which would give me a kind of a cramped position. I wish my knight was here. Let's just play this first of all. So I'd like to take this knight just so this e5 pawn isn't so strong. So like I might be able to play something like bishop takes knight and then bishop here and win back the pawn that way with a fork. But that's a little high and mighty. Okay, so let's Just trying to think of a decent plan here. Nothing's really jumping out at me. I wish I could do this, but it's just a little bit too weak. Alright, let's play here first, and we're just putting a little pressure on the e-pawn. I expect him to play like c6, and then I would have to retreat, and then he's going to play f6, I suppose. I'm not entirely sure what's happening. I'm down a pawn, but my pieces are starting to get active, and he's got a few pieces on awkward squares. And his king is slightly exposed, but it's difficult to get at it. So even though I'm down a pawn, I think I have compensation, but it might not be enough for the pawn. Alright, so he goes there. Now I could play queen f3, threatening queen f6 check, but it might be a little too obvious. Another option might be queen d2. Queen d2 threatening, kind of threatening bishop takes. Oh, I can't do that. My knight is hanging. Okay. So let's not do that. Do I have anything with knight takes h6? Doesn't look like it. I'm about to get crunched with f5, f4. I don't see a good way to stop that. I have bishop takes g5 and knight takes e5, but then he just pins me, so that's no good. Maybe I just play f3 and give my pieces some squares to go back to. But I really don't want to get crunched. if I play c4, he can play c6. Then I go back here, and then I'm pressuring this. Alright, let's just go c4. Doesn't do anything right now, but I'm kind of looking to play c5. So f5, I think I just retreat the knight. Do I retreat the knight, or do I play c5? c5, he can take my knight, and then I take here. I think I'll retreat. And I think here I'll play c5. Oh no, then he takes and takes. Okay. So that's not great. Maybe just bishop here to here. If c6, I have c5, so I'm not worried about that. Well, he'll have like a giant set of pawns here. Although I might be able to sacrifice and come in with a check. Or maybe check here and do something. His king will be really exposed in that line. So the sacrifice is probably justified there. He's trying to crunch me. How is he going to do it? Okay, f4 first. So I think bishop d2. And my idea was simple. I'm just going to go bishop c3. And my knight can find a nice home again. Maybe here. My bishops are pretty strong. Now after c6, I can go bishop e4. And then maybe f3 to solidify if he puts me in a pin. Well, I was mixing up my ideas. If he plays e4, I can take and solidify. If he plays c6 here, trade, and then I might be crashing in on g6 later on. Okay, so let's go. Oh, he's gonna get a trade? I don't want to trade. Let's just go here. So this covers the two tender squares here, and then I can play bishop c4 or bishop c3, and I have pressure on the bishop here, as well as pressure on the e5 pawn. And I can add more pressure with knight g4. And now if he plays e4, I can take and solidify with f3. So it's, you know, it's not a perfect position, but it's my position. And I'm going to do what I can with it. Alright, so let's start with this, put some pressure here. Alright, now I think more pressure. Just going to start invading on the light squares if I can. Okay, there. So he's kind of threatening to push this pawn now. What do I do about that? Here, he can takes. That's not good. Oh, he can't push the pawn. What am I thinking? He's pinned. He's pinned this way. So I have some extra time. I have extra time. Alright, let's maybe start with this move. maybe I can come in this way. So I have pressure here, so I don't have to worry about this yet. So thinking maybe I can come in this way. Yeah, a queen trade won't be too bad for me if I can get a rook on the 7th, because I'll be at least winning my pawn back here. And meanwhile, he's kind of stuck in this pin. Alright, that's a pretty good move. Let's see. Can I exploit that somehow? I don't see any shots with like that move. If I come back, he might try crunching me with that. So, do I have to go back? I don't want to do that. Alright, let's go back to here, I suppose. Don't really have any other options. Yeah, bishop here is a good move. It took that away. So now my bishop is crumbling a little bit. Alright, let's defend that pawn. And now my bishop can now come to e4 safely. And so I just defended that pawn. And now g4 is not possible, because I should be able to just take that. Maybe with the bishop. Yeah, so even though he's up a pawn, his king is just a little bit too exposed, so it's giving me all kinds of counterplay that I probably don't deserve. Alright, so let's go this way. Trade off his really nice bishop. So he'll have this here, so I guess he might be winning another pawn. That's not great. There. I think I have to take, and then maybe b3. Well, he has to take here first, so I don't have to play b3 just yet. If knight takes, then I'm thinking knight g4. And if queen takes, how about just b3? Just to defend here, and maybe I can offer a queen trade here and renew my pressure on these two pawns with my knight. Also, f3 might be a good idea, but I think he's going to be playing e4 here soon. But I'd like to trade queens so I can get my rook into here, but I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, that's a weird move. I can put him in a pin. He can get out of it pretty easily. Let's just back up, I guess. I don't really know what he's doing with that. Alright. I'm not sure. He wants to play e4, and I can't really stop him. I could play f3 and bishop takes knight, but it starts getting really crazy after queen takes, queen here, pawn takes here. So I don't really know what's happening. Okay. I can't really offer a queen trade. Alright, I guess I have to play f3. I don't really know what other options I have. So I'd like to just bring the knight in here if I can. There we go. So if knight here, I can take here and do a queen trade. He didn't allow that. So I could play queen here now, force a queen trade, and now I have this check, maybe as an in-between move of recapturing. Okay, let's do this check. Let's see where he goes. Oh, he just timed out. Okay, so I think he's probably perfectly fine here if he just... Oh no, I'm winning a piece. Yeah, because I'm going to play queen takes and rook takes here. So I ended up winning a piece at the end. Let's go back to the tournament. There's the end. I didn't end up winning. I ended up just outside the podium here. Good job to Memel. Reinecke was second, and Vince N was third. I just had a couple of unfortunate draws in there in the middle. They both played very well, and I missed some opportunities. They probably missed opportunities too, but you know, what can you do? That's pretty much it for this video. Let me know what you guys think of the blindfold idea, and yeah, I think I'm getting a bit more confidence, so I can start doing faster time controls. Also thinking about streaming as well. Actually, one thing I was thinking about streaming was I took a day off of work and I signed up for the yearly classical. So if we go back to tournaments, there's a yearly classical coming up on October 12th. October 12th, starting at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And yeah, so I'm thinking about playing this whole tournament and maybe just streaming the entire thing. Yeah, so let me know if you guys would want to tune in for that. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.